And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. I am very. First off, this is episode number 28. As you can see, I am by myself. I don't know where Hitmaster is. We were supposed to start 15 minutes ago. He should join though at some point. We'll have to see what happens there. But anyway, I have to apologize again because I know this is not going up at the normal recording time. I got out of work last night, like 9:30. Didn't get home till like 10:30, whatnot. I was exhausted. I was worried about stuff I had to do today. So I wasn't even focused on the podcast one bit with basketball on and whatnot. And I completely forgot. Went to bed, woke up this morning, and realized I forgot to do the podcast. So it's going up tonight. With or without Hitmaster. We'll see if he decides to join. But yeah. But we're finally doing it. Episode number 28. Got a lot to talk about. Phoenix is in the books. A lot of cool stuff. We're also going to recap the bowling event that happened that included NASCAR drivers. Big penalties coming from that race. So we're going to be talking about that. And some other big news and some other stuff, fun stuff. Signings and new paint schemes and stuff about some cool things and some controversy, as there always seems to be controversy in NASCAR. And at the end, preview this weekend's racing at Atlanta for the Xfinity and the Cup Series. So, but first off, happy March Madness. Hope everybody happy St. Patrick's Day too. Happy or as college students know it as, happy Get Back Blackout Drunk Day. So I hope you had a good St. Patrick's Day. And I hope that March Madness is going well for you guys' brackets. And you guys are doing well. Seeing some big upsets already. I don't think there's a single perfect bracket left. But we still have fun with it. So that's all great things around there. Let's get down to the news. First we'll talk about Phoenix. The Xfinity race. I did not get the chance to watch the Xfinity race at all. I had to miss it because of work. So I can't talk a whole lot about it. I do know, though, that we got a first-time winner in the Xfinity Series, and a young one at that. So that is really cool. Really excited about that. Winner was Sammy Smith, I think his name is, in the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Fun fact, he got the pole for this... for Atlanta as well, so that's pretty cool. First time winner, 18 years old. That means he's younger than me and won a race. Cool. That makes me feel great. But anyway, got the job done. First time winner. That's really awesome to see, especially more so with a lot of the Cup guys coming along and taking a lot of the thunder. More seniors. I'm going to adjust my camera, by the way. Just a little bit. There we go. Nah. Fuck. I like that. There we go. Especially a lot more of the Cup guys coming along and kind of, throwing a wrench in everything. And really kind of stifling the growth potential from the Xfinity, the new Xfinity guys. So it's really cool to see one of them win for the first time, especially at a challenging track like Phoenix. So that's really cool to see. Congratulations there. And then prior to the Cup race, there was a bowling event. They teamed up with the PBA and did like a celebrity clash. It's like a doubles event. And Ricky Stenhouse participated. Eric Almirola participated, which was not surprising at all. Shoot, I can't even remember anybody else that participated. I don't even remember anybody else. I know there was somebody. Somebody participated. I don't remember who it was. But there's a lot of other actual PBA bowlers out there. They had two male PBA bowlers, Jasper Svensson and Kyle Troop. And then they had Daria Pajak. Sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. And one other female bowler that I can't remember off the top of my head. But they all participated. And then there's also like a celebrity clash with a bunch of celebrities that took place in between like the sessions of bowling of the doubles event, which was weird. Yeah. That was a little weird to throw in, but it was cool. And I did that. The winner was Kyle Troop and whoever bowled with him. I don't remember. I think it was Eric Almirola. Maybe. Probably not. I don't remember. But it was cool to see the attendance out there. There's a lot of fans, NASCAR fans and bowling fans, and the bowlers did a fun job with it. They've collaborated with NASCAR guys before. Eric Almirola did the Celebrity Clash in 2019, and he did it again this year, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, I think it's a really fun event, mostly because I think it's going to be very successful for both the bowling fan base and the NASCAR fan base, because bowling fan, this is not a rip on anybody, but bowling, it's not a rip on any fan base or whatnot, but bowling fans and NASCAR fans are very similar. They're older, tend to lean more right, and are very, very, very traditionalist. So they work well when you combine the events. I think it's a good way to get NASCAR fans interested in bowling and bowling fans interested in, well, I guess it was more airing towards the bowling side because only the drivers. So there's more to get NASCAR fans interested in bowling. I don't know if it really worked, but it's cool that they try, and I think people like the event, and it'll be a cool reoccurring thing. I hope they do it at more tracks. Phoenix is a weird choice, in my opinion, to do this at. I think it worked well in MIS, hint, hint, because Michigan's a big bowling state. So I think they get good attendance for it. But maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. I don't know what the real numbers were like, but it was a cool event. I did realize also that Tony Stewart's a big bowler. Got into bowling recently, and a lot of NASCAR drivers are left-handed. It's crazy how many of them are left-handed. Only 3 guys out of like the 20 that they showed, or like the 15 that they showed, were right-handed. Because I guess it really doesn't matter what your dominant hand is when you're driving in a car. So you can't really see like who's. It's like the same thing with like wide receivers and running backs in football, right? Like you don't know what they are. Hockey players, I guess, are the same thing. So it's pretty cool that they. It's just weird how many are left-handed. I just did not expect that at all. It's pretty crazy. And that was for the race. Now for the race itself, Phoenix. Very tame. I did get to watch the whole thing, by the way, in this race. Very tame racing. Very tame. And that's to be expected at Phoenix. Even with the next-gen car, Phoenix has been very tame racing. It always has been, for the most part. There's been some exceptions to that rule, but mostly it's tamer racing, I should say. Very lackluster for the most part. There was another overtime finish. And then, of course, we'll get to that in a minute. But, of course, like Las Vegas, lots of Hendrick domination. William Byron, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman to a little bit, and did very well. Byron dominated again, got the win in OT, second straight win. And Josh Berry, even this time, finished 32nd at Vegas, so didn't really get into it then. But he got his first career Cup top 10, finished 10th. That's really cool that they got to do that. And I think that's mostly because he wasn't just thrown into the car like 48 hours prior, like thrown into the roll. So he had a little bit more time to prepare. But that was really cool to see. I really enjoyed that. There was a good Hendrick domination there. The overtime finish, a lot of people were complaining about it. Robbed Harvick of the win. He ran a good race, and like I thought he was going to. He does have one more shot to win at Phoenix, of course, in the final race of the season. But as we've seen, the champion usually wins the final race of the season, especially with this new playoff format. So he'd have to be in the final four for that really to be considered a chance. But he put up a good race here, finished 5th, and wasn't able to get the job done. Tyler Reddick also finally ran well. It took fucking 4 races for him to really run well in his new ride at 2311. So that was cool to see. And then, yeah, I mean, it was... Yeah, and that was pretty decent. I mean, like, the racing wasn't, like, abysmally bad, but it wasn't great either. And, I don't know. It just seems... It's Phoenix. It's going to be kind of lackluster. The overtime finishes this year, there's been many of them, and they've not been, like, outside of the Daytona, obviously. I don't know. It's just, like, overtime finishes last week and this week. You're not very eventful. The guy who's been dominating just pulls away in the first turn, race is over, and it's not really any extra suspense to it. But Willenbein did dominate the race. He's putting on a really strong showings to start the season with 2 wins. Hendrick as a whole is really putting on a strong start. Elliott was before he got injured. Josh Berry, if he continues this running ways, could be a threat to win, maybe. He's got good equipment behind him, as he settles in for a little bit. It could be possible that he could get the win. Not likely, but possible. But Larson's doing well. Byron's got 2 wins. Bowman's been running pretty well. So we're going to see how it goes. I think it's early. It's only been 4 races, but I think Hendrick has a good shot to really run the season this year, which would be not a very popular move from a lot of fans, but also it's a very indecisive move, mostly, I think. That's it for Phoenix. Wasn't the greatest weekend of racing, but again, I didn't watch the Xfinity race, so I don't know. Hitmaster ever gets on, we'll ask him how maybe the Xfinity race and maybe he watched it and get his thoughts on the Cup race too. Some other news. NASCAR. So NASCAR actually this was funny. NASCAR launched a Speed Zone Roblox Meta World, and they weren't the first company to do this. Facebook was one of the big ones, and obviously they got Wendy's in on it, and they got a few others. NASCAR's in on it now. It's a little bit late to the game. The trend's kind of gone. Not like super popular move anymore. It's not really something that seems like it's going to be working for them. I don't know. It might work out. It might not. Who knows? It's just a weird move. Like Roblox is a whole itself is also kind of dying, and I guess, like, I don't know. They seem to always I think they've been around for a lot longer than I thought they were too, which is insane. But yeah, that's just a weird move on NASCAR's part, in my opinion. All right, so let's get into some penalties, because there were some big penalties post Phoenix. So first off, the Colleague 31 team, as well as all 4 Hendrick cars, were assessed L2 penalties. What that means is L2 is like the second tier of penalty, that kind of thing. The crew chiefs were all suspended 4 races and fined $100,000 apiece. And each team except the 9 team, were fined 100 points and 10 playoff points. The reason why the 9 was not fined these is because Josh Berry is not the primary driver of the car. It's Chase Elliott. So they didn't penalize him for the points, but they still got penalized for the crew chiefs and the money. The reason for this penalty was for illegal modifications on the hood, louvers, I don't know. So yeah, wild penalty there. Hitmaster's coming, by the way, if you guys want to know. So I'm gonna put my headphones on real quick. But anyway, no, I'm not actually until Amy gets on. This is wild. So apparently, the story behind this is that after they confiscated them before practice, decided to let the teams practice with these and then confiscate them prior to the race. What? What? It's just, I don't know why they let him do that. It's whatever. I guess. And people are saying, oh, it affected their domination throughout the race. No, it didn't. They confiscated it before the race. They're fine. But that's just that's a very severe penalty, too. The Hendrick crew chiefs are huge. And they're going to be suspended for 4 races. The points are going to be big, too. But yeah, that's going to be huge, in my opinion. Very, very huge. The other big penalty was against Denny Hamlin. So he was fined. So he was fined $50,000 and 25 points post the Phoenix race. So what happened here was, at the end of the Phoenix race Oh! And look who has decided to arrive. Did you oversleep again?
Yeah.
That's an L. Well, welcome to the party. Okay, so we'll put on hold what I was talking about. Let's get to your thoughts on the races. Did you watch the Xfinity race?
I actually was not able to watch any of them.
Oh, okay. Got any thoughts you want to say about those before we move on?
I looked at the race, and it was a good race in my opinion. Winner being Sammy Smith. I mean, that was a good race to me. But that's all I gotta say.
All right, and then we are on to the penalties. So, thoughts on the Hendrick and colleague penalties for the hood louvers?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad penalty. I think really it's a penalty that I think people don't realize that it's a small thing. And it's very hard to find. So, Hendrick could have gotten away with it, so did Colleague. But, yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
And then, all right, so let's get back where we were going. So the other big penalty, so Denny Hamlin's fined $50,000 and 25 points for the Ross Chastain incident. Here's what happened here. Last lap of the race, going into the well, I guess it's now the second turn, Hamlin intentionally crashed Chastain to try and affect the outcome of the race. That was the penalty. Because he was mad at Chastain for something or whatnot. And he was putting people in danger. He's putting Chastain and other drivers in danger and also trying to affect the outcome of the race. So he was fined $50,000 and 25 points for that. He is actually working to appeal that and get that penalty overturned. Status of that is not issued yet, but that's a pretty wild penalty in my opinion. Denny Hamlin has been all over the news this week. Get your thoughts on that situation right there.
When I looked at it, at first, it didn't look like he went up and rammed into him. It just looked like he got loose and got into him. But then when I looked at it again, like, okay, he purposely went up. There was no loose in that, and he just went up and hit Ross Chastain, which I I I just wish there wasn't any of that anymore. Uh, I wish there was ways where you could uh, damage someone's race without trying to wreck them.
Can't do that anymore. You used to be able to try and cut down their tire, spin them out.
And that ruined Kevin Harvick's race.
What was that all about? I don't know how that situation affected Kevin Harvick, because he was finished fifth.
So Kevin Harvick would have won that race, but because of that, um, or caution,
That was a caution.
um,
I think.
he got loose on the restart and he got passed. But Kevin Harvick would have won that race at Phoenix.
Tyler Reddick, I thought, was going to win that race, and then he got boxed in, couldn't get a pass off in time to try and win it. But yeah, wild stuff, wild penalties coming out of Phoenix. The post race stuff was wilder than the stuff during the actual race, which is insane. It was hard for me to assess the crash because Fox didn't show any good angles of the crash after the race or even when it happened. So I couldn't really see what was going on there, but it's not surprising. I mean, the Chastain and Hamlin beef continues. Year 2 of it, I guess. But we'll have to see how well that story develops. See if it gets appealed. We'll see what happens with the Hendrick penalties. Because that'll be crazy. And if Denny is not able to get it appealed, he will not be in debt from this. Because he, while they were out west, he got a lottery ticket and won $50,000. So he'll break even if he can't appeal this, which, he's already rich as hell, so it probably doesn't matter, but it's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. Other news, Jimmy Johnson, 2 more races to his schedule for this season. He's running both COTA and the Coke 600. COTA was leaked before it was actually announced, and then when they officially announced it, they also threw in the 600, which was nice. I think it was pretty much well hinted that Jimmy was going to run the 600. He's been a Charlotte legend for years. Won that race 3 times or whatnot, I don't remember. Or 4 maybe, and maybe more than that. But COTA's a little surprising. He's not been always been considered a major road course ringer. So, but it is a new track for him, and I think he wants to see how he can test his stuff out on that. So that'll be interesting to see. Couple more cool events for him to run. A couple other things. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We talked about this back in the off season. That would have been December, I think we talked about this. But there were rumors going around that it was going to be trying to add it to the NASCAR schedule, and that it was getting sold and refurbished and ready to go. That finally was supposed to happen back in January. It's March. Finally, it's gotten approved. It's approved for renovation. The company the company or the organization that currently owns it agreed for the Bristol company to buy the track, and it's approved to be renovated. They are going to build sound walls to protect the nearby neighborhoods from sound stuff, I guess, so that they can run races there. And it should be ready to go either by 2024 or 2025. I don't remember what it said. So that is huge. That is awesome. Be cool to see some races there. Cool to put on a little NASCAR style festival for a weekend with some racing. That would be awesome to do. It might spell doom for Nashville Super Speedway. Oh, I'm seeing their close proximity. But hey, I think people wanted the fairgrounds over the Super Speedway anyways, so I don't think anybody's going to be complaining except for people that own Nashville Super Speedway. which I don't know who that is at this point. But that is huge. Finally got some cool stuff there. Some other stuff that came out. So another penalty post Phoenix. Sorry. 2 crew members for Eric Amarola's team were suspended. 2 races. Because he had a lost wheel. When he hit the wall, his wheel actually that was partly because it wasn't attached properly. He hit the wall, came off. So 2 crew members were suspended for 2 races because of that. Routine penalization. We saw at Truex's crew a while ago. No different here. Lane Riggs, I'm assuming related to Scott Riggs. He's going to run the 1 truck for the Tricon team at Atlanta. Just signed that, I think, yesterday. Time of this going out. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. Another big story was Kevin Harvick revealing his paint scheme for the All-Star race this year. And it's quite a unique one. Throwing it back to his first paint schemes in a Cup Series. The original white with red and stuff. He's throwing it back, and he's even going with the number. Yep, it's number 29.
Back to when he photo finished with Jeff Gordon.
Yep, in Atlanta. He's going to run that at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. And you might be thinking, well, he runs number 4. Why would they let him run number 29? Well, it's not the first time that this has happened. 2016, Kyle Busch did that for the All-Star race too. Changed his number from 18 to 75 to work with M&M's for the 75th anniversary of M&M's. So they did that. And it worked to be very popular. And I have no doubt that this one's going to be popular too. They're using the same font. They're using the colors. Sponsor's going to look different, but it's still going to look pretty much the same. And I think it's going to go, especially at night at North Wilkesboro, a track that Harvick has never ran at. It's going to look awesome, I think. It's going to look incredible. Alright, and then last thing I got. So there's a big controversy going around with the Chicago Street Course race. And it seems like every week now we're getting news, random stuff about updates about the Chicago Street Course. Like, it's in July and we're hearing all this massive stuff about it now. But this relates to their legendary aquarium, the Shed Aquarium. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a very popular attraction in Chicago. But they're apparently really mad because they're projected to lose $3 million due to the traffic from the Chicago Street Course. Because, so here's the story. It's from what I read. So the busiest time for the aquarium, aka the time they get the most revenue, is around 4th of July weekend. That's when this race is. Because of the fact that the streets are shutting down and the amount of time that it'll take to set up, it's going to take 10 days to set up, 10 days to take down, plus the time for the race and the concerts and the racing and all the other festivities and whatnot. They're going to lose all that revenue over 4th of July weekend, which will total to about $3 million. And they're pissed. They're very pissed about this. Now, personally, this doesn't seem like a... Now, here's the thing, right? You would think the more traffic would bring more people to the event, like more people to go.
Right.
But I guess maybe most of the 4th of July crowd will be gone because there'll be a race there. They won't be able to just go into Chicago. but I don't feel like the race crowd would go to the aquarium. I don't know. But really, I guess there's no way to get around it now, unless they like get a grant for $3 million to take up the lost revenue, or like they get like a special promotion to get some money from the event, to support. I guess they wouldn't be considered a local business. Maybe some local businesses could get some promotion and some advertising to boost revenue for this event and get a way to keep the community together and what am I saying? Bring the community together to make it a more of a possibility to do in the future. Though
Right.
I think NASCAR is going to try and do the route where they do this in multiple different cities to try and touch multiple different communities. I would not be surprised if they do one of these in Florida. I would not be surprised if they do one of these ones, because IndyCar does St. Petersburg already, or at least they used to. I would not be surprised if they maybe even did this in Mexico or Canada. Go international.
See, that's what I want them to do. I want NASCAR to go different places. I know it's so much money and everything, and it takes a bit for them to do it, but it would just be cool for one race in 1 year. It's called the Worldwide Tour, where yes, you still do the races that are in the usual, but you take some races out for just one time only, and go to like you said, Mexico, Canada, because there's racetracks in Mexico and Canada, England. Have what, the new King and Queen of England be the people that say, "Gentlemen, start your engines."
That would be
Like,
cool. That would be really cool.
It's a good idea.
I think it
Just
would
1
be.
year.
But I think that's what in terms of Chicago and that community, that's not what they want, because it's a one and done deal. It's a lot of lost revenue, not really as much exposure or tie to the communities they might want. And so they would be kind of pissed, because that wouldn't be what they'd want. So it really just has to become like a midway sort of thing. Because I obviously it's not confirmed that they're going to do like a touring thing. They might stay in Chicago. They might continue to do it. They might not. I guess it just depends on how it works, how it goes, and so it'll be quite interesting to see how that develops as we get closer to the event. So that's really all the news I had. Like I said, most of the stuff was about the penalties and stuff that happened. I don't know if you heard about the Roblox Meta World, Speed Zone Meta World that NASCAR launched. I don't know if you can get your thoughts in on that real quick.
Just to hear you say that NASCAR and Roblox have worked together to make something means NASCAR is dying.
Hey, we didn't need this fact to know that. Come on.
I mean, it's been dying, let's be honest here. But, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play it 24/7. And, I mean, for people that play it, it's cool for them because, some people watch NASCAR and, they get to do stuff. But, I mean, choose any game. Any game. And you chose Roblox. Okay.
It's definitely an odd proposition. But
Now you could have done something with Apex Legends. Or,
well, okay. I don't know.
F1. F1 and NASCAR come together. And you could get the suits for our, the NASCAR characters, so that people that watch NASCAR that are F1 fans, they get to have their own driver's thing.
I guess. I don't know. It's very, Like, they can't just jump into a game that like, with Roblox, it at least kind of makes sense because it's like an open world style, do it like sandbox kind of thing. With a game like Call of Duty, right? You put a NASCAR costume or something in Call of Duty, it's not really gonna fit. You theme a gun off of a car, it's really not gonna mean anything. It's not gonna make any sense. It's too far different markets. Now with like, but that's why they picked games like Roblox. But why Roblox? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if they've ever teamed up with Forza. That would be a good one to go with. Even GTA to an extent would work, but you know they probably need a new game, and they're never going to get a new game, so probably not going to
Well,
happen.
then again, they do have a car in GTA that's like a NASCAR,
Right.
and then they could put like schemes, like put a Chase Elliott, put a Joey Logano, put a trying to think at the top of my head, a Martin Short Jr. So do something like what they did with Rocket League.
Right. I don't know. Rocket League was a good one too. That was a good. That was a good addition.
I have all the
Rocket
stuff for Rocket League. It's cool.
I don't know. I mean, I also don't think. I was talking about this when I talked about the bowling event that they did prior to the Cup race at Phoenix, and how I think that's a really good way to get fan bases to work with each other. I don't know if you contradict me. I said this before. Bowling fans and NASCAR fans are very alike in their demographics, beliefs, and ideologies. And that's why I think they're good to combine with, because the fans are going to cooperate. They're both gonna love it. It can expand the markets for both. You kind of find that market for if you're going to jump into a video game style thing like they did with Roblox. You gotta find a fan base. You gotta find that also is generally liking of NASCAR or racing in general. Get them involved. Get more fans to the game from NASCAR and get more fans to NASCAR from the game, just like they did with bowling, and it will work. But Roblox, I don't know if that's really it. But that's why I said like Forza and other stuff that might work out. I don't know. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation. But anyway,
Sorry about that.
that's really all I had.
Oh, I found out something.
Let's hear it.
And this is about the Corrigan Oil Speedway.
Ooh, news.
I went to drive by the racetrack while I was on my way home, and there is a for sale sign on the track,
Well,
like next to the track, and I don't know yet, but it sounds like they're gonna tear it down after this year. So
well,
this could be the last for Corrigan Auto Speedway.
well. That is unfortunate. There's a for sale sign. Ah, shit. Where'd you hear that might get torn down?
Well, I don't. It might be torn down because usually with stuff like that, I'm not gonna say it's fully because it doesn't happen that time, or they could just have a for sale sign or available sign for whoever wants to buy it next. But
Okay. So let me ask: when it got changed from Spartan Speedway to Corrigan Oil Speedway, was there a for sale sign at any point? Did you ever see one? Or
I was too little to know.
okay, so I don't remember. I don't remember seeing any of that. That's why I asked. But
But other than that, I have no other news.
well, Well, no, this is a pretty big story here. Let's run this one out a little bit here. I guess knowing what we know now, I can't be too surprised that there's a for sale sign out in front of the track. It's very disappointing. But that would mean that I guess that would mean the owners have already sold it. But I thought they were going to wait on that for a while, longer, like a few months.
Right. I think what they have is they have people that are wanting to buy it lined up, but like they said, they're going to wait until the end of the year
Is
to
that so?
announce it.
I remember you saying they were going to wait until the July or August. I don't know when they were going to actually announce it. Um, but if there's already a for sale sign out there, it seems like something has had to have been made, some decision, or no decision at all. Maybe they're just putting it out on the market. And but if the for sale sign is but having a for sale sign out there, not a good sign because that means the property itself is up for sale, not the track. Which means chances are it will get torn down and houses will get built in its place. Or like a store or something like that, which would suck.
Well, I think what they should do is if they're going to tear it down, they should at least put like a store that has all Spartan Speedway product. You know, like this is what was here before. Get some, you know, stuff. You know, you can come eat or anything, or you can get memorabilia from the old track,
Yeah, they could probably do that. They might
or
do
like they could sell like pieces of the racetrack.
pieces of the track. That would be cool. Or like grain
No, I'd
seats,
definitely buy one.
seats.
Yeah,
Old merch that they couldn't sell. There'll probably be some big sales of stuff. I'll have to go out and buy it, or they might just end up fucking giving it away for free at some point, depending on how
right.
things go. Because I don't have any Corrigan Oil merch. I don't have anything from there. I want a pin. They never made pins. I wish they did, but I would have gotten a pin, but they never got pins. The shirts were always a little pricey. The hat, I don't even think I ever got a hat. I think only employees ever got a hat. The shirts are never that great. They really didn't have much. So I can't really, unless they have a bunch of old stuff before it was Corrigan Oil Speedway, it's still laying around that they can get rid of. I really don't expect there to be much. But I don't know. But if it's torn down, I really don't know if they'd be able to build a new. What would go there is the question, because that's not really a great area for a store, because it's in a median. It's on a main road, medium between the city of Holt and the city of Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And Holt's got Kroger. Holt's got, Meyer. There's another Meyer in Mason. Like, there's stores there. Unless you wanted to go with a convenience store. But they've got plenty of those in both those towns. Obviously, there's nothing, like, right there. I guess a restaurant actually could work there. But, like, that actually would be cool. But there'd be a lot of undeveloped land then, even with a parking lot, even with they like made it big with an outdoor area and whatnot. So a store seems like the most logistical option.
Right.
Or houses. Houses also is a logistical option, but I wouldn't want to see a house. I don't want to see any of that. I want to see a racetrack there. Come on now. It'll be quite interesting, though, to see what happens with that. I think, as I said before, it'd be very sad if it got torn down. I don't know why there's a lot of reasons why we could say that it's all about financial issue. It's either financial issue or complaints from the nearby houses of noise. And I think it's the first option. Because if it was noise complaints, it would have been gone a long time ago.
Right.
Like what happened with, I think it was Nazareth Speedway had noise. I think it was Nazareth that had noise complaints, and it's gone now.
But it seems like anytime I hear that noise out there when they're racing, I sleep better just because I'm used to NASCAR, used to watching it, and it's just like I love that noise.
Actually, I'm gonna look up when the track opened real quick. I don't remember when.
Like sometimes I like hearing the oil or smelling the oil after it comes out of the cars, and I just hear or smell the. Why do I keep saying here? Smell the oil, and it's just like that's pure racing in its finest. Should say
It's a
online.
seven. What did you say?
I was just saying it should say when it was made.
I can't find anything about when the track was open. Oh, this might say something. No. No. It does not. Yeah, I don't know when the track opened, but it's been around. Oh, 1956. So it's going to be almost 70. This will be its 67th birthday.
20th season.
67th birthday. This year.
What was the month?
It didn't say. It just said serving race fans since 1956.
They do have the schedules too. They have the schedule up for the entire race officially. Oh, by the way, if you guys like counting down to Speedway race, the first day of Corrigan Speedway will be in 62 days, 17 hours, 55 minutes, and 0 seconds.
62 days. So that's about 2 months. Right? No.
About, yeah.
A little over 2 months. So that's what? May? The week before Memorial Day? It's actually not
I
that far.
think so.
That's actually not that far away. But there's only like 6 races, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
And we would have to get our tickets early.
I don't think we will. Unless they announce that it's shutting down after the season ends, then they'll probably get a big turnout. But if they're not going to say anything till the end of the season, but I guess they're probably only going to wait to announce it if it's going to be something where it's like the track's going to come back the next season. If it's gone and they're going to tear it down by September, then they're going to announce something as soon as they know. I would hope, at least. I would hope, but who knows? It's really a sad situation. Well, like I said, it's probably money. That's been the downfall of the track. I mean, it's a very bare bones operation, but it really doesn't need a whole lot. I mean, they've got all the amenities there. They don't really sell a lot of merch, but they don't draw high crowds either. But there's not a high capacity. It's kind of like a low input, low output sort of situation. I mean, they can sit like 5,000 people max, I think it is. But it does seem to have a very dedicated fan base. It's really popular with families, which you can't say about every track. I mean, I'm sure families aren't always like big on going to like Talladega. When you got drunk people wearing shirtless, chugging beer, with boobs out and whatnot, I'm sure they're not gonna bring their kids there. They'll bring them to Corrigan Speedway. The worst you're gonna get is some cigarette smokers right behind you. If you can get past that, then you can really get past pretty much anything. at the track at least. And it provides exciting racing. I mean, we've seen some good stuff there over the years, and there's a lot of races, a lot of times to go, and now it's might be coming to an end. But I was thinking about that, right? I was actually talking to Noah about this the other day. I think it'll be fun if the track is indeed shutting down. I think it'd be fun if you and I did like a documentary style video on it that we both worked on, documenting the history of the track and maybe reaching out to some people to interview.
I would love to do that, honestly. It's funny because when I went to go to the what was it? It was demolition night, I guess. And there was a guy that had a car, and it said, "Follow me on YouTube," and it showed his YouTube. And it was cool because you got those people coming on.
Did you get his YouTube channel? You should get him on for an episode.
I can try, but it might be difficult. It might be very difficult.
But do you have his YouTube? Might be able to.
Yeah.
He might race there this year. Actually, we could probably find it. You should DM me and I can probably comment on a video or something. Reach out. But I think that would be cool. Seeing as it does have a dedicated fan base, but it doesn't have that dedicated of a fan base. And I think it would be cool to do something like that as like a personal project. Document, especially, I mean, it's been around for 67 years. That's a long time for this little track. There's probably a lot of stuff that right now we don't even know about it. Just because, it's such a small track, such a local track, it's not been very well documented. But I'm sure there's people that have been there for a long time that we could find and interview and ask about, and I think that would be really cool. But obviously that's only if the track is shutting down, which it looks more and more likely that it will, but it's not confirmed. So that'll be interesting to see what goes on there. So okay, unless you got anything else, we can move on to our final topic of the night, and that's Atlanta preview. Going to Atlanta, the Super Speedway Atlanta. Had to remind myself that it's a Super Speedway now. I almost forgot. All three series are racing there this weekend. Truck and Xfinity tomorrow. Cup Sunday. I will not get to watch any of that, probably.
I probably will be able to get to watch the
actually,
Truck and Xfinity.
I'll probably get to see most of, if not all, the Cup race. We'll see.
Because most likely I'll probably be watching Michigan State play. Also, cheer for Michigan State. Michigan State's facing Marquette.
I don't know when the Spartans play Sunday. They haven't said the time yet, and we're already going to be out of town for a little bit during the day. So I don't know what my schedule looks like. I'll just have to see when the race is. But apparently there's rain, so maybe it'll get rain delayed and I can watch it more. We'll see.
Why rain delayed? Because then I have to work the next day.
Right. Actually, let me look up the weather for Atlanta, because it did literally Friday. Today's action on the track got rained out. It's in Hampton, Georgia. Hampton, Georgia. Here we go.
So it should be called Hampton Motor Speedway, not Atlanta.
Okay, no rain. No more rain in the forecast. Cloudy tomorrow.
Yeah!
Partly cloudy 52. Sunny and 47. That's not good for Atlanta, but hey, that's good for racing. But, I mean, cool, grippy conditions for some good racing, hopefully. So, but who we got for the trucks?
I don't know, actually. Hold on, I gotta look at the roster, because I'm not gonna go for Haley D, and just because I want her to win. I'm going to go with my actual. Hold on. NASCAR. I'm just going to go with standings. Craftsman.
Probably a good way to go.
What I'm looking at, I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to go with Matty D.
Matt DiBenedetto. Now, these picks are going to be interesting because, again, it's super speedway. I mean, we almost saw fucking Corey LaJoy win last time they were in Atlanta, so really anybody can win these. So you know what? I'm going to do what you didn't do. I'm going to pick Hailie Deegan to win. Screw it. Why not? Go out there, go on a limb.
If she wins, she will be the first woman to win in the, I think, truck series.
First woman to win ever in NASCAR. That would be a historic victory if she
Technically, Danica Patrick was in the Xfinity series, but in the truck series, yes.
But she never won though. So there's been women participants in all three series, but no winners.
Yeah, Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Shauna Robinson way back when. Danica obviously. So there's been attempts.
Natalie Decker.
There's been attempts made. But yeah. So anyway, moving on to the Xfinity race, which is taking place later that day, so some more nighttime-y action. Chandler Smith, winner of, right? His name's Sammy Smith? I don't know what his name is.
Sammy Smith, yep.
There's like 50 Smiths. Winner of
51.
Phoenix gets the pole, like I said, for this race. So who do we got winning this one?
So, you said Hailie Deegan for the truck series. So, you know what? This is a far, far, far guess, but I'm going to go with Jeffrey Earnhardt.
I'm going to go with Jeffrey Earnhardt. Oh, my. He was actually in the bowling event. That was one of the people. Jeffrey Earnhardt was one of them. He's actually a pretty good bowling form. I was surprised.
Also, he looks more like Dale Jr. than he does his own father. When he smiles. Just a little. Also, I know you guys can't see my face when I did that because it looked like I was just... I will find you and I will kill you.
Let's see. Who am I gonna pick? It's a toughie. I also have to look at the roster. Not that. Not you. Ooh, okay. So you picked Matt DiBenedetto trucks.
For the trucks. And then I picked Jeffrey Earnhardt for the Xfinity.
Former Cup driver. So I'm going to go with another former Cup driver. Cole Custer. To win Atlanta. He's starting in 8th. So that's not a bad starting spot. I'm going to bank on him getting an Xfinity win. How about that?
But then again, I feel like you want to be in the back just because you don't want to wreck out the first lap.
Yeah, but
being in the back is way better. I've known that on iRacing. It's just that. Also, I like how I'm just ahead. But you just start at the back and you just hope they don't run into you.
Yeah, that's
Here, I'll just be ahead for the rest of the video. Hold on.
All right,
okay.
And then finally, Cup predictions. Hendrick's been on a big tear. Chevy as a whole, 4 for 4 this season, but
and they go 5 for 5.
Hendrick has won the last 2. right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who won the second race. I don't even remember what the second race was. Oh, Auto Club. That's Kyle Busch. That's right. Um, but yeah, who you got for this one?
I'm gonna go with Corey LaJoy.
Fuck, I was gonna pick Corey LaJoy.
You can still pick Corey
I don't want to
LaJoy.
pick the same guy as you. No, because I was
I
gonna
mean, I
pick.
can always go with Alex Bowman if you want Corey LaJoy.
Nah, you can keep Corey LaJoy. You got to pick first. You get the first choice. I'll pick it somebody else. But I think Corey LaJoy is a good pick because he almost won there last time they're in Atlanta. I thought he was.
And now Chase Elliott's not a part of it, so technically he can have a chance.
Maybe. I mean, maybe they'll have a chance. But being a super speedway race, I don't know the likelihood of the. I don't know how high the likelihood that another Hendrick domination happens. We saw Recky Spinhouse win the first big plate race this season, and I think it's another opportunity for another big underdog to get it. Corey LaJoy is always a very solid pick, but I think I'm gonna have to look at the drivers. Let's see. Who we got here? You know what? I'm gonna pick Ryan Preece. Underdog pick. Actually in pretty decent equipment. All or nothing race. Why the hell not? You know? The Fords, you know, they haven't done much, you know? I was going to pick Kevin Harvick, but it's not the correct Atlanta configuration for it. He used to be really good on the old one. But this one, I mean, there's only been 1 year of it. But it's not what he ran on. So, that's not really a good pick. But Ryan Preece could be it. Could be the first non-Chevy win of the season. So, but we'll have to see how it goes. So, again, I deeply apologize for this going up late this week. We'll try and do better next week. If I remember, I was so tired last night. I just could not think straight.
And I was so tired today.
Could not think straight at all, but we got it up hopefully by midnight. Might be longer than that. My brother's playing video games. That means the internet's going to be bad. We'll see. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, let me know. Comment section down below. You can join the Prinkle Thunder Company Discord. We'll get you the role. I found somebody that is a NASCAR fan on Discord. Might ask him to be on the podcast. Might get some Corrigan Oil people on the podcast too. Whoever knows. That's going to do it for this video, though. Stay tuned for much more amazing content. Till next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.